Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for mid-May 2022. We're just going to jump right in here, Libra, and we are going to see what is going on for you at this time. You have this bad health card here. Again, I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. This is also in your past position. So I feel some of you could be obviously coming off a health-related concern or issue. And again, it is your past position, so it's not something that I would really be too concerned about. But again, as always, I'm not a doctor. Obviously, if you're having a problem or an issue, go to the doctor, plain and simple. But let's see here, Libra. This actually looks pretty good, you know, once we get to the end here. You have this bad health card. Some of you, I feel like, are just feeling tired, kind of like, you know, everybody else. So that doesn't really surprise me. It might not be so much, you might not be health. It might just be more tiredness, exhaustion. I would definitely watch your health in regards to your emotions. You have the Nine of Swords with the King of Cups here in the first row. And this could be, you know, your emotions affecting your health. You know, it's like if we're I believe, and again, I'm not a doctor or a scientist, so I'm not a scientistician, right? But what I would say is that I believe that our emotions definitely, if we're having like super negative emotions or if we're feeling bad, it makes us feel worse, right? And can, you know, kind of hurt our immune system and things like that. So I would definitely watch your emotions with that King of Cups. But you have the Nine of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Seven of Wands. Again, this has like a little bit of an element of protecting yourself. This row, the Seven of Wands is a card of defending your position at the top of a hill, but you know, it's also a card of boundaries or setting boundaries. You have the Devil here. I actually don't hate the Devil here because you have that beautiful engaging card as well in the same row. So is it really a bad thing? I would say no, it's not. But you know, what I would say is, again, you know, you have the Devil. So I would make sure that you're drawing boundaries, that you're protecting yourself. And I would also avoid, you know, anything that you know isn't good for you at this time with the Seven of Wands. The King of Cups, you know, he represents your emotions. He has very deep emotions. He's sitting in the middle of the ocean here on this card. And he isn't really affected by the things that are going on around him. You can see he's like in choppy waters. But sometimes I feel with the King of Cups that, you know, it could represent like bad health, or it could represent the circumstances that are going on in our life kind of leading to our bad health. It's like, I don't know about, I gained the COVID-19, right here on my gut during Corona. So, you know, it's like, I'm sure there are, you know, certain circumstances kind of happen, and you know, it can affect our health is what I'm trying to say. So I would just watch your health and your emotions in this first row. Pretty simple. Having said that, in your second row, you have this beautiful engaging card. I love this card. It's kind of like things opening up, and you even have the Judgment card. You know, very similar energy. The Judgment is, you know, they have their arms wide open. They're ready to receive something, and that's how I feel there. I don't really see the Judgment card as a card of receiving, and this is not all the time, but for you, I definitely feel it is referring to receiving energy, news, information. I don't know. We're going to look into it. Obviously, that's the whole point of you being here. But I feel there's something really nice coming in for you here, Libra. You have the Devil, the Four of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles. Some of you could be removing yourself from a earth sign person. Sorry, wrong camera. I feel like you could be removing yourself from an earth sign person. I kind of get like a weird, if you're leaving a relationship, I get a situation where it's like, I don't really call it a weird situation, but I do feel like it's a situation where you just don't feel like the other person was putting in the same amount of effort that you were. I'm getting some sort of difference in effort or something like that. So that could be bringing a situation to an end. Some of you could be hoping that a person puts in more effort with the Four Swords. Four Swords, he's kind of like praying for blessings. There's a person receiving blessings up here in this stained glass window. And we could say that he is kind of praying for blessings. He's hoping that he's going to receive some blessings, you know, from the God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. But I feel for some of you, it's kind of like you're waiting for this person. But I feel like they have too many responsibilities here with the Devil. I always say, to me, the Devil isn't a bad card. You know, to me, tarot isn't good or bad. It's just loose guidance at best, as I always say. And the Devil is kind of like one of those cards where I feel sometimes it can just represent responsibilities. He's kind of sitting on the black box of Saturn here, and the black box of Saturn represents Saturn. And it can represent just responsibilities and someone who is bound to something. And I feel that this person could be bound to like another family, or they could be bound to children or something along those lines. For others, I feel, for pretty much all of you, by the way, number one, I would watch your health, like I said earlier, but I also feel that you are bound to something, but it feels like a responsibility. Again, we're going to dig into this in just a second, and we're going to see what this is. Next, you have the 12th house, which says introspection. I don't know, I'm kind of exhausted by the 12th house energy, if I'm being honest with you right now. I'm a Pisces, and I have a lot of stuff in my 12th house, but I also feel that you, Libra, are kind of like dealing with this 12th house energy. I feel as a collective, a lot of people are dealing with this like 12th house heavy burden, kind of closing out chapters, people leaving, feeling tired and needing to do the work anyway. I feel like a lot of people are dealing with that energy, and I feel like people are just tired, basically. And that's what I feel for you. I do feel, again, as tired as we are, I do feel it's a great time for introspection. We have this Mercury retrograde going on right now as well, and really good time for introspection, really good time for, kind of like examining things inside of you. Just like, this could be anything, could be behaviors, it could be just desires. It could be anything. And you could be deciding like, do I want these things? Do I not want these things? It's just a good time for that. It doesn't say you have to do one thing or the other. It just says it's a good time to, kind of like make those choices. You have the Judgment card, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. I get the word, and I did get the word at the beginning, receiving, on this Judgment card. I'm really focused on that person in the middle there that has their arms wide open. It's like, you are receiving something here. It's weird because it doesn't feel like information to me. Normally, the obvious with the Judgment card is that it's a message, because you got this big horn right here. This is your higher self angel right here as well. The thing with the Judgment card is usually the message is to leave the coffin. The coffin represents your old life. Outside the coffin represents your new life. So kind of like the Judgment card represents stepping into a new life or being reborn. That's why it's a card of rebirth. But for you, again, I feel like you're receiving something that could be, but I feel like it's more progress, I would say, because you have the Queen of Swords. She finally sees things clearly. There are no clouds above her head, so she kind of sees like what direction she needs to go in life and all this other stuff. And you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is like charging forward boldly. She represents being bold, being assertive, kind of really making something in your life happen, really charging towards a goal, wish, dream, destiny, whatever you want to call it. So I feel there's like a lot of success for you here with the Queen of Wands, a lot of abundance as well. I'm getting the word abundance actually popping in on this Queen of Wands. The other thing is, I feel, regardless of what gender you are, it doesn't matter, but I do feel, the Queen of Wands, sometimes when she shows up, I feel like we could be attracting a person into our life. She's like the card of seduction. So I feel like you are very attractive at this time, Libra. I like that for you. Definitely, if you want love, I feel that. I get a much more matter-of-fact energy. I always get that with the Queen of Wands. To me, she does not tolerate this right here. Knight of Pentacles is like a lot of good, could be a lot of good words, but it's like he's being too cautious. Knight of Pentacles sometimes, I just am not a big fan of in love readings because, he can be great. It's like someone who has unlimited potential as a partner, but it's like, are they taking action? That's the thing. Actually, it's funny, on the bottom of the clarifying deck here, Knight of Wands, which would be action. So let's see what we get for you here, Libra. Again, this is one of those readings where I feel like this main part of the reading is just like a foundation. I really don't feel it's providing much detail. So let's get some more detail with the clarification. Let's see here. With the Knight of Swords, you have the High Priestess, and definitely trust your intuition. I would be careful of emotional, if you have someone who's like emotionally controlling, is what I would say to you here. It reminds me of a story where, that I always tell. It's like, I've known many people. I actually had a friend who's, who was moving away from home, basically, and every time he was about to do something, his mother would magically end up in the hospital, or, something else would happen. This is a toxic relationship, and I don't care what anyone says. I'm not suggesting, people always get mad at me, whatever. Not that I care, but I'm just saying, it's like people always get mad and say, how dare you not take care of your mother? That's not what I'm suggesting, but what I am suggesting is if you're noticing a pattern where, someone always stubs their toe when you're about to leave, or, someone always has some sort of issue when you're about to do something, to me, that is toxic behavior. They're using emotions or other things to control you. And again, I had a friend whose mother always ended up in the hospital every single time he was about to leave. This happened like 20 times in a row. I kid you, I'm not even, no cap, right? Not even kidding here. And, to me, it's abuse, really. I mean, to me, even though it's his mother, it's an abusive relationship because it's like, she was preventing him from living his own life. Did she really have problems? Mental problems, maybe, is what I would say. But I kind of get that feeling for you here. I'm not saying it's that extreme, but, there could be a person in your life who always has some sort of symptom popping up. And that's what I'm getting here intuitively. I'm getting kind of like a manipulative energy, if I'm being honest with you. With the King of Cups, you have the Queen of Swords. You see this, though. So if this message is for you, then I feel like you see it. If you don't, by the way, if you don't see it, this message is not for you. That part of the message, I just feel Queen of Swords to me says you see this clearly now. You could be, breaking that cycle. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Four of Pentacles. See, I think all of you, Libra, I know what this first row is. I feel like you are noticing certain, like, symptoms, that pop up. I don't really have any good... Yeah, I wish I had some like good examples for you, but it's like I feel with this Four of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, bad health card, I don't really feel it's bad health. I feel that it's like you're noticing certain symptoms before you go and do something. Like maybe you always get sick before job interviews. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just giving you some examples. Maybe you always have stomach problems when you go on a first date, right, or something like that. It's interesting. Again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. But what I would say is it's almost like you're kind of connecting the symptoms. I feel like this is a good thing, because, again, I feel like you're connecting. You're saying, like, oh, every time I go and do this, then I have a symptom, or a person in my life has a symptom. And I feel like that's what's allowing you to kind of like break the cycles. You're recognizing the connection between the two things. So it doesn't really surprise me. Mercury retrograde, again, I feel like during Mercury retrograde, it's like, you never know. I always tell people, a lot of the things that prevent us from moving forward in our life probably are things that happened when we were children. It's like, maybe we came up with an idea when we were a child and someone said, that's the stupidest idea ever. And then from that point on, our child self feels like all our ideas are stupid, or we develop some sort of symptom. So you could be clearing up a lot of those kind of like, those symptoms, right? With the Devil, you have the Magician. Again, I do not like the Devil and the Magician together. To me, that is definitely trickster type of vibes going on here. So I'd be careful of anything that seems too good to be true. Again, to me, Knight of Pentacles is one of those things. A lot of words and also ability. He has the ability to do the things that he says that he can do, but he has to do it. So I would definitely be judging people by their actions, as always at this time, Libra. What I would say is I do feel there's clearly a new beginning coming in for you as well. He's pointing to the Judgment card. So I always take into account the card that the Magician is pointing to. He's pointing to the Judgment card, but based off of how I lay them out in the spread. So definitely some sort of new beginning. We're going to find out what. With the Four of Swords, you have the Five of Cups. A lot of this kind of, I feel like there's too much projection in a lot of ways here, is what I would say. I don't mean this in a bad way, Libra. We all do this. Again, I'm not criticizing you at all, but it's like, I feel if you're feeling sad about the way something in your life worked out or didn't work out, I feel this is just a projection. It's like you had too many expectations on a situation. I feel like this has recently led to, heartbreak, sadness, or feeling like you're left out. I really get this energy for a couple of signs, and you are one of them. And I'm not trying to be clickbaity here, but what I am saying is I feel there's something that's much better coming in for you in the future, but you have to see it first with the Five of Cups. I don't have any good examples, but I always tell people, it's like, don't limit yourself in your manifestations, because what if the universe wants something better for you? I feel like the universe wants something better for you here. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Pentacles, and it's like, okay, planting a seed, great. If this is a person making an offer for you, I would be looking at how they nurture the situation. Again, if I'm being honest with you, I feel like this is a person entering into your life, this Knight of Pentacles, and I feel it could go either way. I always tell people, pay attention to the evidence at the beginning. It's like this person has the potential, but again, potential is just potential. They have to water the seeds, right? The Knight of Pentacles, or the Ace of Pentacles, there's a garden in the front here, and it kind of says you will get out of a situation what you put into it. It's like if you take care of a garden, then you're gonna have an amazing harvest. If you don't, then you won't. I kind of see this on both sides, though. I don't think it's just you that has to put work into this situation. If this is a person who's coming in for you here, I feel like you need to make sure, again, I keep telling people, Justice card is the answer of 2022. It's like you put in a little work, wait to see if they put in a little bit of work. If they do, keep going. If they don't, stop, right? I think if we pay attention to the evidence, then we'll be fine. With the Judgment card, you have the Strength card. Could be a Leo coming in for you as well, is what I would say here. I feel that you could be dealing with someone who's a little bit cautious. I really see both of you being cautious, is what I would say here. Could be involving a child. So for some of you, I feel like there are children involved. I'm really focused on the fact that, well, I'll just show you that there's it's almost like there's two families, a man, woman, child in the background as well on the Judgment card. And I feel some of you could be, the challenge here could be family related. For others, I feel like you're dealing with someone, if you are dealing with Leo, I feel like they're cautious due to the past, their past experiences. I feel like they would open up here. She is taming that lion. So, I kind of feel like you have the ability to tame the beast here, Libra. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, King and Queen of Cups here, divine counterparts. So if you're looking for love, there could be a divine counterpart coming in for you. Major, need to watch your emotions with the King and Queen of Cups. And with the Queen of Wands, you have the Lovers, exactly what I said. So, clearly this could be a love reading. There is like a new beginning in love. I feel like you're opening up to it. I would just say, again, if you're wondering, is this person worth it? I would pay attention to the nurturing side of things, King and Queen of Cups, with that Ace of Pentacles. It's like if they're serious, then they're going to put the work in. If they're not, they're not. Plain and simple. No need to overcomplicate it, right? I do want to see, what is this new beginning, though? I do feel part of it's love, but there's, more here, Libra. Temperance card definitely could be a fire sign coming in for you here. I feel there is a lot of this energy. If you want to polish up something that you're working on, then I think it's a great time to do this. Even I started getting I've already started to do the quarter. What quarter are we entering into? Whatever, the next quarter, quarter 3 or whatever, right? I've already started doing the quarter 3 readings, and I was getting something about this, about how it's I feel like all of us, if you're working on a project, a business, anything like that, maybe it's going well, but I feel like you could add a little bit of polish, make it sparkle a little bit more, and that's going to make all the difference in the world. The Temperance is about turning one thing into another, but I kind of have been seeing recently, the Temperance card is more of this card of it's you have something great, but you can make it even better, And so I feel like that could be part of the new beginning. Middle row, 3 of Wands, what are you waiting for? A lot of changes, a lot of shifts. I mean, we are in a time of great change, so it doesn't, makes perfect sense to me. Bottom row, 4 of Swords. Definitely take time to rest, relax, recover. Take all the time that you need. Mercury retrograde, right? Don't try to force anything to happen. I do feel, again, if you're looking for something to do with that Temperance card, I think it'd be a great time to, experiment, but also to kind of rework things that you're working on. I feel, again, if you're working on a project, writing a book, starting a YouTube channel, I feel like there's great abundance in reworking something. So if you're thinking about doing that, totally worth it as far as I'm concerned. That Temperance card is really standing out to me. That's why I'm saying this. I feel like it would be a great time for you to revisit things. I always like to remind people as well, it's I think that people discount their past successes and they don't recreate them. It's on YouTube. It's a lot of YouTubers who are very successful. They look at past videos that have done very well and they do them better again. So I feel like some of you, I'm not saying you're doing it on YouTube, but I feel like you could be doing it in some area of your life. It looks really interesting. So thank you for being here, Libra. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your month.